Welcome to Teen ypww Lesson 13. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's topic is Dynamic Deeds, the Fantastic Four. The lesson text is coming out of Mark chapter 2, verses 1 through 12, John chapter 21, verses 15 through 17, and Hebrews chapter 12. The memory verse. I will read the King James Version first and then the New International Version of Mark chapter 2, verse 4. And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was, and when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. The New International Version. Since they could not get him to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through it, and then lowered the mat the man was laying on. The key for today's lesson: unusual ideas that yield great rewards. The focus for today's lesson: God will sometimes give us unusual ideas to bless His people. Love is an action word. Yes, it is also a passionate emotion. When you love someone, you have tender feelings for them and like them very much. Your actions are the demonstrative proof of your love. Jesus gives us a great example of action-based love in John chapter 21, verses 15 through 17. As shown in the chart, I will read. Jesus asked the question. Verse 15, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Peter replies, Yes, Lord. He said, You know I love you. Jesus' action directives. Jesus said, Feed my lambs. Verse 16. Again, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter replies, He answered, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said, Take care of my sheep. Verse 17. The third time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said, Feed my sheep. Interestingly, Peter was disappointed about being asked this question 3 times. Nonetheless, he learned this vital lesson. Genuine love demands action. Jesus makes this kingdom-based directive crystal clear. If you love me, your hands will help me. Today, our lesson text is about 4 good friends. I would like to call them the Fantastic Four. They are our final group of unsung heroes that we will celebrate this quarter. We do not know their names, but we do know their heroic act that saved their friend's life, who was very sick. These brethren demonstrated love in several purest states, love filled with compassion, kindness, and dynamic deeds. Our memory verse, Mark chapter 2, verse 4, is the powerful, ingenious decision that they made that Bible scholars are still talking about today. Many years later, in the 21st century, these 4 friends planned this journey to Jesus, hoping their sick friend would be healed. We are still determining what they had to do to make this trip happen. We do know they had to rearrange their schedules for this journey together. We do know that they had to work together to carry him. Heaving, lifting, toting, and carrying upstairs were necessary steps in this case. Paul instructs us in Galatians chapter 6, verse 1, to bear one another's burden, and so fulfill the law of Christ. Sometimes we can help bear one another's burdens with kind encouragement when our friends need a listening ear. Other times we may need to lend a friend a hand with a small task. Then, like in our lesson today, our friends will need us to carry them with our full strength engaged. The 4 friends reached their destination, and it was very crowded. They now think of the rooftop plan to get their friend to Jesus. Preaching inside the house, their plan worked. Their confidence in Jesus' willingness to heal their friend won the victory that day. There may be times in your life, teen listeners and readers, when you experience difficulties and hard times. During these times, your faith can be challenged. Today's lesson exemplifies how Jesus Christ can inspire people to help you when you need help. Jesus knows what we need and when we will need it. We must continue to praise and thank Him in advance for our deliverance when we face troubling situations. God loves it when we live in the expectation of His deliverance. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6 says, Without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. We must applaud these 4 friends who did not allow the challenges of their plan to ruin their day. Their quick thinking and courage instead saved the day. We must expect God to deliver and bless us at any minute throughout our day. God has thousands of ways, means, and people that He can use to help us. Today's lesson declares that Jesus Christ welcomes, inspires, and uses dynamic deeds to bless His people. The questions for today's lesson: number 1, why is it essential for us to have lessons like these to discuss such brave acts? Number 2, healthcare is a multi-billion industry worldwide. These 4 friends were excellent caretakers of their friends. What are some essential attributes that workers in this industry should have? The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.